How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. Today, by popular request, I'm back with my good friend Mike, who did about $250,000 in sales doing the Amazon wholesale model. We're going to be talking a lot about kind of finding your first distribution account, finding that first supplier, because I know that's a big issue for a lot of you new sellers. Before we jump into that, do you want to just kind of briefly introduce yourself? This is kind of the first time you're seeing, and maybe talk a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, if this is the very first video you guys are seeing, my name is Mike. My page is 1UP FBA, most platforms and Amazon wholesale on TikTok. I'm a full-time wholesale FBA seller. So we're working with a lot of different brands, suppliers, distributor, wholesaler. I'm sure you guys have heard all these terms. And we're going to kind of dive into some cool tips and tricks on how to land your first wholesale account.
Awesome. Yeah, so, just to back it up like a little bit, when you first got started selling on Amazon, how were you actually able to go out and land that first account? And what did that look like for you?
Yeah, so the very first account, it's kind of like your phone is going to be super heavy. I'm sure you guys may have heard, you got to call 50 distributors, 100 distributors, 200 companies, and it's 100% true. I mean, it is impossible to fail. And once you guys get comfortable picking up the phone, calling these companies, it's a matter of time before you land an account and you have a spreadsheet or a catalog that you're going through to find profitable product.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you remember how long did it take you to find that first distributor?
I would say I've been in the space a while, so about 4 or 5 years now. But if I recall, it really took probably a solid 4 months.
Yeah, it can take time.
To really lock in my first company that I placed my first purchase order with. It was a closeout company. It was like some Avino product where, it was really marked down one-time buy where I could buy 120 pieces of it. And that was the first wholesale item I ever sold on Amazon, or wholesale purchase that did well.
It probably felt life-changing when you're
game changer. Because
yeah.
everything clicked in the business. And I realized all I have to do is call more companies, go through more catalogs. And I already saw the scalability. I'm like, wow, they just let me buy this right now.
Yeah.
And I can just send it in.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
That's awesome. And when you're doing wholesale, I know a lot of people get, they're worried about what should I sell? Do I have to pick a niche? What's your philosophy on that? You selling anything that's profitable, or, what's your thoughts there?
I always say kind of the old saying, get in where you fit in. Whatever company you can open the doors with and start analyzing their product for profitability, 100% roll with it. Right? I see a lot of new sellers, or I wouldn't say new sellers, but a lot of people coming from RA, OA, getting into the wholesale space. They want to try and stay in one specific niche, and they're really limiting themselves to calling these grocery suppliers, health and household. A lot of these companies will have so many brands that you can get access to, and limiting yourself to only beauty or only electronics is going to make it very difficult to find that one perfect company for you.
Yeah, I like that. Especially at the start, there's no reason to kind of niche down. With wholesale, I've seen some guys be successful. Maybe you find a lot of tools distributors and you just kind of, niche down in there. It can kind of help give you an in with some distributors. But especially at the start, don't overthink it. Just find a supplier.
A tip for people getting into wholesale would be go with your supplier distributor route. They're going to have a ton of different brands. The entry point is a little bit more accessible for somebody transitioning into the wholesale model. It's not that you can't get a brand direct account, but those, it's going to be a higher level of entry. They might want a real established website, some past connections with other companies. So just in the beginning, get what you can get access to, which are those supplier distributor accounts that might have, some beauty products, health and household, grocery, a good mix of all of them.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people, and this was me back in the day when I started doing wholesale, I was like, all right, time to call up Olay. Hey, Olay, can I get $5,000 worth of product? That's just not how the wholesale game works. But you can kind of say, hey, Olay, who are your distributors, and kind of get into some rabbit trails from there, right? And so, finding distributors, all that kind of stuff. When you're calling, 50, 100 suppliers, that kind of stuff, what is your 30-second elevator pitch for those distributors?
Yeah, it would be mainly introduce yourself. One tip for you guys is every single name for any single person you talk to at a company, you need to be writing that down, whether it's the phone receptionist, whether it's a guy you're transferred to, because when you first call a company, there's no level of familiarity in the conversation. Yeah. So even if you get transferred to one person, you say, hey, I was just talking to John. John was telling me you're the guy to talk to. I want to look into a wholesale account. I really like your product. So even just having something to name drop is a huge tip for you guys. So write down every single name. Yeah, so what I've found is a lot of people getting into wholesale, they will try to go off of a script of some kind. And I actually don't necessarily recommend that. At the end of the day, wholesale is working with other people. So, just explain what you do. Hey, I'm an online retailer. I really like the product selection you have on the website there. Figured I'd give you guys a call. You can also, once you start to land accounts, you can start to speak about how you already have other accounts in the area. Yeah. Or you have an account that's only 100 miles from them and you're just looking to expand your catalog and take a look at pricing. So once you just get in the door with a couple companies, it seems to be significantly easier.
Yeah.
Those first 50 companies you might call, 100 companies you might land, 2, 3, 4. But it's once once you land the 2, 3, 4 accounts, it's almost like a 1 in 5. Like your chances of landing the next
That's
one.
awesome.
Just because you start to really learn the lingo, you're more confident. Maybe you've placed a purchase order before, so you kind of know what's going on. I would just go with the flow. Definitely write down all the names you possibly could of anyone you talk to, and try to do as much as you can at once. Here's a tip. If they are going to be giving you any type of application while you're at it, because you don't know the next time you might be on the phone with these guys, they're very busy. Ask them, hey, while you're at it, do you mind sending over a catalog we could take a look at, or maybe a spreadsheet, just something to go through and get a general idea of what products you guys carry. And that seems to be a good way to expedite and get our answer of like, do they even have stuff that we want?
Yeah.
Should I even fill out this application? Is their pricing even decent? So you can kind of save yourself some time doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a nugget for you guys. Get to that price sheet as fast as possible, right? Because
Absolutely.
if they're in just another stratosphere and they're not selling products that are going to be good for Amazon, you don't have to waste their time. You can save some time that way, right? So when you're talking to these suppliers, I know a lot, the comment section is going to be saying it like, I tried calling a supplier and they said, they don't want to sell to me. I'm too small, or I'm just an Amazon seller. Like, what are some ways you're able to offer value to that supplier in that initial conversation? Or like, oh, this guy's serious. I want to work with Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, by nature, this is going to come with time. The more professional you speak, the more professional you approach, and the more capital you have might play a role into placing larger purchase orders or getting in with a more professional company that has high MOQs. But a good way to go about that, when they're telling you they don't sell to Amazon sellers, I like to hit every objection almost head on to where there's, I say, hey, do you mind me asking, why is it that you don't really like working with online retail? And in some scenarios, you'll start talking to them and they say, well, we do, but we're not taking a whole lot of new clients. So sometimes you can kind of work your way in by hitting the objections of, we'll maintain MAP pricing on some of the products that you carry if it has like a MAP price, or we will actually spend the $1,500 or $2,000 MOQ on specific products, or, we're really looking to scale with you guys with your product selection. So it's kind of hitting every objection of why, or maybe just ask them, have you had issues with Amazon sellers in the past? And what did that look like for you?
Get into a little therapy session with them about Amazon. Yeah.
You honestly do. You kind of just, you have to break it down and see, why they're not working with Amazon sellers, or maybe they already have a dedicated few that they sell to. So, but definitely if you don't ask the questions, you're never going to know. So there's always a chance to get in just by simple communication.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, kind of wrapping us up here, anything else you think we left out about going out, finding that first distributor account? Anything else you want to leave them with before we head off here?
Yeah, I'll give you guys a huge gem. If you stayed this far in the video, definitely in your area, pay attention to the trucks. Pay attention to what trucks are delivering to like private grocery stores and, mom and pop shops and stuff, even convenience stores, smoke shops, whatever it may be. Look at the trucks that are delivering, because those are suppliers and local distributors you can call. And more than likely, you can open up an account with them. So that's my awesome gem I'll leave you guys with of the many gems I have. But that's awesome. That's a good one.
Yeah. So for the folks at home, if they want to go kind of follow along a little bit, I know we'll be leaving that link down below if any of you guys want to get a little bit more in-depth wholesale training. I had the chance to look through Mike's course. It's been awesome. You can check out the link down below, but if they want to go follow along, get the free content, where should they head?
Completely free content here on YouTube at 1UpFBA. Just search it up, or it'll be linked down below. Instagram, 1UpFBA, same thing. And on TikTok, if you want to check out some of my less formatted videos, at Amazon Wholesale.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the channel, dropping some value for us, Mike.
Thanks, Warner. I appreciate
if you guys found value in this video, if you could share some of that value back with me and hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, drop those down below. We'll be happy to answer those for you down there as well. Really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.